Right here. What's up, everybody? AJ back here at E3 2011. This is a post-EA press conference here at the Orpheum Theater in Los Angeles. I am with executive producer Phil Frazier of Madden NFL 12, and we're looking at the game right here. What's up?
Lots up. Well, I mean, what you're seeing right now is some of the first early images of dynamic player performance, which is a big feature that we've got that we're letting people get hands-on for the first time at E3 this year. So, you know, we're now capturing the ebb and the flow of an NFL player during an NFL game. So as you play the game, players are going to react based on what you're doing. Are they clutch players? You know, are their tendencies and their traits going to change? A number of factors go into dynamic player performance overall.
So with people watching online, or if they're able to get out here to the show, what are they going to see this week from Madden?
We're basically showing almost everything but online. So I think you'll see dynamic player performance, you'll see the new collision system in full effect, you'll see the new defensive AI in place. I think what you'll really see is the new presentation that's in the game as well. DCAM looks amazing, we got the new broadcast angles, and then graphically the game looks tremendous. We don't have franchise mode on display. It's not a great place to look at features like that, but the game's looking and playing amazing right now.
So explain to us dynamic player performance a little bit. We're going to get a little more in depth with this with some of the other designers and stuff in some interviews, later tonight and tomorrow early. What can you tell us about dynamic player performance? We know that it basically captures the way an NFL player plays and perhaps, you know, his hot and cold, but there's a lot more to it than that.
It is. We're trying to capture the difference in a player's style. You know, we have a lot of guys in the game that are rated very similarly, and in Madden in years past, that would mean that they played virtually the same. So if you had a guy that was 85 speed, 85 throw power, two quarterbacks with the same ratings, they would virtually play the same. Now that we've added these tendencies and traits, you have quarterbacks that are a little more likely to get rid of the ball if they sense pressure. Or you have quarterbacks that aren't very good at sensing the pressure, and they're more likely to take more hits. So these tendencies and traits make the game and the players play much more like themselves, and a lot of them are dynamic. So as you're playing the game, as you start to sack Eli Manning, he's going to start to get a little more crazy in the pocket. He's going to have happy feet. He's not going to be able to find his targets quite so much, and he's going to take more sacks as a result. So a great way to make the gameplay more dynamic, as well as, you know, trying to model the players to play more like themselves.
So we've got the Eagles and Packers here. It looks like we're at Lambeau Field.
I hear this was a fan choice.
This was a fan choice on Twitter. We posted on Twitter, and this was what the majority of people wanted to see. Obviously, a lot of people like seeing Michael Vick and the Packers since winning the Super Bowl. But what are the differences if we were talking about dynamic player performance, talking about, say, Michael Vick and Aaron Rodgers? What kind of differences will we see when we're playing against them in the game?
Well, I think the big thing you'll see is, you know, Mike Vick is, of course, he's very fast, but he's more likely to actually tuck the ball and run when he starts to feel pressure in certain key situations. Now that we've added these tendencies and traits, we can make that actually happen in gameplay. So I think that's the one thing. Aaron Rodgers, he's a clutch player, very good late in the half. You're going to see that in the game as well, where he's actually going to build the players around him. They're going to perform better in those key situations because of how clutch he is. So again, all these tendencies and traits make these guys play much like they do on Sunday.
Okay, we've got our first question from MF Soccer 94. He said, did ball trajectory and arc change on passes?
You know, that's one of those things where we get a lot of feedback from our fans on trajectory. First, our goal is to make it play real. So we try to make sure that the trajectory and arc matches the way it is in the NFL. And then second, we want to make sure the game's a lot of fun. We want to make sure when you throw the pass, for example, that there's enough time as an offensive player to switch to your wide receiver and actually make a play on the ball. And as a defender, the same thing. Switch to the defender and make a play. So it's one of those things we're constantly tuning. We have tweaked it a little bit this year, but, you know, I wouldn't say it's fundamentally different than what we've had in years past.
Okay, let's also take a look at the graphics here. Obviously, some very big additions to the graphics in Madden NFL 12. We got the 3D grass, and the helmets look freaking amazing. Tell us about what kind of changes you got made to the graphics.
We've got a very large graphics team that does a phenomenal job of capturing a lot of the little details you see on Sunday. So you called out the 3D grass. When you see the camera coming down, you're actually going to see the blades of grass and the foot sinking into the turf. It looks amazing. On the player side, we've got new player gear. We've got 4 new helmet types. We've got new gloves, new face masks. Player degradation, you'll see it in some of the shots here behind you as well. As players start to hit the turf, you're going to start to see grass stains and dirt showing up on their uniforms. It looks amazing. Little things. I mean, this seems really, really minor, but we've added a green dot to the back of a quarterback's helmet to a linebacker's helmet, and that's to signify that they've got the earpiece in their helmet. That's how they get the plays called into them. So we've got the green dots on the right players in the game. I mean, top to bottom, lighting, progressive lighting, the actual time of day changes. The game looks amazing.
So some extremely detailed stuff. I mean, some people, I mean, if you're just the average NFL fan, you may not even know about the green dots, but like the hardcore NFL fans who are watching every Sunday, you know, they're going to recognize that.
I think so, and I think I've showed the game to a few people that weren't aware of what the green dot was, and they're like, what's with that sticker?
Yeah.
And it's a weird sticker. It's got like a little lightning bolt on it,
Sure.
an NFL shield, and it helps people understand what's going on when they're watching a game on the broadcast, because we help explain that in our game. And it is good that we are able to capture all those little details, because our hardcore fans really expect that.
And talk a little bit about the scratches on the helmet. Speaking of like just small details that just make a big difference. Like I was playing the other day, you know, just working for the company. I had the privilege of playing these builds early, and my goodness, like you just start seeing scratches on the helmet, little scuffs, and it's not the same one on every one. It just looks amazing.
Yeah, it's part of the degradation system that's brand new this year, and as players collide, and you see this a lot with linemen, defensive and offensive linemen, you're going to get little scratches literally on the helmets, and over time they build up throughout a game, and they're going to start with one here or one there, but by the end of the game it's going to look like they've really gone to war in the trenches, and that's really what's happening on the field. So it looks incredible. You combine that with the grass and the dirt, the players come off the field at the end of the game, and they look like they've just been to hell and back. So it looks really nice.
Speaking of collision, new collision system, explain to us a little bit about that.
I think the big thing that our hardcore fans will appreciate is no more suction. So the collision system, the way it used to work is, you know, players 2 to 3 yards apart, we'd look at kind of where they're heading, how fast they're going, and we would suck them into an animation or into a tackle, and you'd lose some of the impact. It wouldn't look as fluid as it should. And I think what we do now is, and I know what we do now is, players actually, when they collide, then we trigger the tackle. You end up with much more impactful tackles. Hits feel a lot bigger. You have a lot more variety. We're actually able to have multiple player tackles now. So if I wrap you up in a tackle, and then our buddy over here from the camera side comes and hits us, he can actually knock our pile that way. We use things like momentum. It's a really great system. It makes the game feel a lot more smooth because you have a lot more control than you did before, and it looks fantastic.
Just to reset here, I'm talking to Madden NFL 12 executive producer Phil Frazier. We are looking at Madden NFL 12 right here live on Ustream. This is live gameplay, and it looks like Rob just scored a touchdown with the Packers. No, he got scored on. Never mind.
I'd like to say, for all the hardcore guys that are watching this, Rob Sempsey is not a sim baller. So if he's doing anything crazy, you blame Rob Sempsey.
I told him not to drop back 20 yards in the pocket.
That's his style of game. I'll smack him later for it.
Okay, we've got another question. This is from
while we're on the screen, a brand new broadcast angle here for the kicking game. So each of these cameras for field goals and for extra points is positioned exactly where it is in the real life stadium. So that's where the camera is for extra points in the Green Bay Stadium, for example.
Yeah, and the same thing with the kickoffs and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
It's very cool. Okay.
Didn't mean to interrupt.
No problem. This is from Shotmaster. He asks, will there be audio cues or original audio for DPP?
Yes. No, Shotmaster, how you doing, big man? Absolutely. We've got a lot of great new commentary for dynamic player performance. When we added this feature, we didn't want to go and add it and have a lot of what we consider hokey graphics all over the screen and meters and hot and cold streak buttons. We wanted to emulate it the way they do in the broadcast. So as you're playing the game and as players are changing their tendencies, we actually have it set up so that, you know, the broadcasters are telling you what's happening. So as Eli's taking hits, Gus Johnson's going to come in and say, you know what, Eli's taking a lot of hits. You know, he should be careful here because, you know, if he doesn't take the situation seriously, he's not going to be able to get rid of the passes quite as effectively, and he's not going to play the same. So we've got Gus and Chris talking about this. You of course can go to the pause menu, which we have right here behind us, and you can see how players are changing throughout the game. So yes, audio is a major factor.
So explain this. Okay, Rob, if you could pause it real quick. Okay, Michael Vick says brace against medium hitters, and okay, so what does this mean here?
Well, what you're seeing is anytime a player has changed from one tendency to another, we show you on this screen here. So Vic, who has a trait for covering the ball right now, anytime collision's about to happen, instead of running and being a very dynamic player, he's more likely to cover the ball. A lot of players will switch to that trait after they've had a key fumble. So if you've got a running back that's very dynamic and you get him to cough the ball up, he will switch to that trait, which means that he's, you know, more likely to take a safe hit and just go down and be less likely to break tackles.
Okay. All right, we got another question here from Joe Gimma. He asks, how has ProTac changed since last year?
I think ProTac is really an animation technology that we use for a lot of our collisions, and since we've changed our collision technology, of course ProTac has as well. Our animation system now at this point is based on actual collision. players have to collide before a tackle can occur. No more suction. This includes tackling, blocking, catching. It affects many areas of the game. Pro Tack allowed us to do things like multiplayer tackles, which we still have with our new system as well. And the great thing is it looks fantastic. You'll notice right away when you start playing the game, the hits feel bigger. And it doesn't mean we actually went out and mocapped 1,000 new hits, but just because you actually have to make collision first, the hits feel bigger by default, and it's a huge change.
And one thing I noticed playing it is that at first it's a little more challenging to make tackles. Like I found myself getting used to being just kind of sucked into a tackle, and you get a little lazier.
You just have to get to the area before. Now,
exactly.
Now you have to make the hit.
Right.
Make it a little bit easier though. So we recognized this as soon as we got the new collision system in. We actually added an actual tackle button. On Xbox 360, for example, it's the X button, the blue button, and if you hit that button and you're anywhere near the ball carrier, he'll actually lean towards the ball carrier to try to make that tackle. So yeah, you have to make the tackle now. You can't just run at a guy, and because if he changes direction, you're likely going to miss it. And you need to break down, make proper tackling fundamentals, and actually make that contact.
We got another question. This one from Twitter. This is from @McThirst or McThirty or McThirsty. I don't know. Either way, if you're thirsty, get a drink. What's your favorite part of E3, Phil?
Flying home. No, it's
don't say that.
It's great to be able to come to the show with a build and get a lot of feedback directly from people that enjoy our game. So guys like Shotmaster, I recall seeing him here on several occasions. We have a lot of Madden fans that get credentials and come to our booth, and they'll literally spend hours playing our game with us and giving us a lot of great feedback. So we're not done. We take a lot of notes even while we're here at E3, and I think that for me the best part is being able to get that kind of feedback so we can make the game even better than it is right now.
Just to explain for everyone out there who may just come as a consumer where they're getting to just walk around, eat lunch when they want to, look at the booths, like you guys are demoing all day, the whole week. I can see how that's pretty demanding.
It's pretty demanding. You know, we answer a lot of similar questions. We do try to mix it up. I try to keep my PR friends on their toes by leaking some information that maybe I'm not supposed to. But no, it's a good show overall. I actually really enjoy getting to see other product as well. I'm a gamer, so being able to go to other booths is fantastic. Uh-oh.
Rob, what happened?
Another interception.
Rob just threw another pick.
Yeah, Rob's not doing so hot. I told you guys, he's not a sim gamer. He's probably making bad throws.
There we go.
Oh, look at this. Okay.
Performance has changed.
So tuck and run often.
So Vic's going to start taking off now. You got to be careful that he can eat you up.
That means he's not confident in his arm right now, I guess, throwing too many picks. Okay, this is from Derville, it looks like. Eric's handwriting is not always the best.
I get it. Is Tony Romo being respected in this game?
Oh, it sounds almost like it's a direct question from Eric.
That's a question for our ratings guy, Donnie Moore. You know, I think... Oh, we actually crashed the game. That's awesome. It's E3 software. We're not quite done yet. But no, Tony Romo with the Cowboys, phenomenal quarterback. I would say he's probably not clutch. You know, that's certainly a risk for him. But yeah, he's going to be given the respect. He's a very solid quarterback. The Cowboys are not the worst team in the game. My Redskins are one of the worst teams in the game. But you know, Romo gets his love.
And again, just like years past, you guys are going to release some roster updates. If Tony Romo actually does come out and prove to be clutch, I'm sure Donnie will be on top of that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the great thing with rosters this year is dynamic player performance actually plays a role in those as well. So as players are doing well in the season, we can change their traits and tendencies based on what they're actually doing on Sunday. So DPP is a great feature not only because it impacts the game, but it's got a major role in our roster update process as well.